Dudes, I have been wanting to film this video for over 3 weeks now. Actually, since I started this challenge, I thought I would maybe film this video. So it's technically been over 50 days. I have been filming and uploading and editing a video a day for the last 50 plus days, every single day. And this is what I've learned. So let me just first recap what I said I wanted to get out of this challenge, or the reason I wanted to start it in the first place. So designating time every day to be like, I am working on creativity. Doesn't matter if I feel like it or not, I'm going to do it. Yes, I have definitely found sprung creative leaks of inspiration and random little things that came through, like my thumbnails suddenly got really I'm way happier with my thumbnails now. My titles, I learned some stuff about video titles on YouTube, which I'm much happier about. Yes, creativity, check, check, and check. Like, yes, okay. Next thing. Of course, something creative. Yes, I've been doing that. So something for myself, yeah. I mean, spending time on this is sort of me time, but also sort of sometimes I'm just like trying to work in between tasks when I have 2 minutes and then I get interrupted and it gets really frustrating. But yeah, as far as going from just barely surviving the day to day and just daily grind, day in and day out, and now doing this daily challenge, the next part of that was I want to work towards my future and spend some time on my goals and see progress in something, not just doing the bare minimum every single day. Yes. So that all ties together. And so one thing that I probably would have filmed this anyway, even if I was just doing like a weekly or bi-weekly or twice a month or once a month video, I probably still would have filmed the sort of like 2025 goals video, but I maybe wouldn't have put as much effort and thought into it. And like my first goals video was not great. It was kind of like, I need to film this and I just have time now, so let me sit down and do it. But then it led me to doing goals again and kind of rethinking that. And one thing about the video challenge and goals and working towards my future, I'm just like thinking, what things can I do? Because like I've said, video is a very highly motivational thing for me to keep myself accountable to stuff, or like I feel like you are keeping me accountable to stuff. So in that way, it's like, what can I film today is always going through my mind. And so I also am just like every day wanting to keep myself accountable to things that I said I wanted to do, if that makes sense. Anyway, that all ties together in my brain, but I don't know if I expressed it very well. Okay, and then I said videos don't have to be anything beautiful or crazy. A 30-second clip is fine. I should check. I don't think any of my videos were less than a minute. And one of my videos that I did recently, it was barely around a minute, and I added some stuff in as I was editing. That's been super fun. Some of my videos come together in the edit, or like they come together after I go through the entire process. It's not like a full video when I film it, but then once I edit it and add in like a couple little blurbs, or if I pop into edit to show my face while I'm editing and say a thought that I had, then it ties the video together. So anyway, I did that for a while, but then I discovered that wasn't really doing anything for me or for you, it seemed. So I stopped doing that, but I think it was interesting and fun for me just to think about certain things that I did answer, and like other questions that I had written down that I didn't talk about. Yeah, some deep questions. What are some goals you have? Where do you think you'll be in 10 years? What's happened in the past year? What's something interesting you've learned recently? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be remembered for? What's something you're proud of yourself for? What's something you want to get better at? So like, I guess a lot of sort of self-improvement and self-reflection questions. So that's been interesting for me to think about. So let me just go through this list and I'll share you some So let me just go through this list and I'll share some of the thoughts that I've had that I wrote down about this. So sit-ups and squats, wow. 20 squats a day and 20 sit-ups a day. I was kind of like, I know I can do sit-ups, but I don't know if 20 is going to be like hard. And then 20 squats, I'm like, squats feel pretty easy for me. Like I've kind of been doing that already, but it's not like every day or whatever. But wow, I've definitely gotten stronger. I can definitely tell the difference. My muscles are getting like a little bit toned, which is kind of crazy. Like you wouldn't think 20 sit-ups and 20 squats a day would make a difference because it's so little bit and it literally takes you a minute, unless, I mean, at the beginning it took me a little longer maybe because it's hard to get through that many, but then over time I'm getting way better form every day. I'm able to notice like if I lean a little bit funny, then things don't feel quite right. I just feel a little more in tune with what I'm supposed to do to make the squat as correct as possible, or the sit-up. Yeah, I've just definitely improved my form and I feel so much stronger. And then also my kids join me a lot of times, which is kind of fun. They're kind of seeing me like work out and they want to do it as well. And sometimes they get in the way, but anyway. Going for a walk / just 10 minutes in the fresh air, that has been amazing. Those night walks are actually really great. They feel so refreshing. I think my kids really need it too sometimes, like if they've been cooped up because it's cold outside and you don't really want to go out. Well, if you just wrap up in enough clothes, just go out in the falling snow or the starry nights or the moon is shining, like those 2 nights out of 50 that the moon was out. Yeah, it's just really a nice little routine that we've built in. And of course, on the warmer days, it's much nicer. And on some days, we're out there for an hour or more. And some days, it's literally 10 minutes. I've realized even when I do have to get the kids all dressed in their warm winter gear and I have to get all my stuff on, in my head, that has always felt like such a big chore and a big task. Like, oh, we have to get all this stuff on and then we have to take it all off and it has to dry and whatever. It is so much easier to get outside than I thought it was. And that is super nice to realize, because then that decision is just so much easier to just go outside now, because it feels so easy. We do it every single day. And I think sometimes just sitting inside looking through the window and like seeing the snowfall, or I don't know, looking outside, it's like you can see it, it's beautiful. But then once you're outside and you feel the fresh air and you're breathing it in and you feel snowflakes landing on you, like it's kind of like going from 2D to 3D. It just feels so much more amazing to be outside. Writing expenses. This one was a little bit, it was hard to remember to write certain things down, like if I wrote a check or if I was paying something online, because it's not like I swiped something and I got a receipt. It was, yeah, just kind of different. So I had to go back some days and be like, oh wait, I spent this and I hadn't written it down that day. Also, when I first started the expense tracking, I was literally just in a text notepad thing on my computer, writing down how much I spent and what it was that I spent it on. And then I realized towards the end of the month that wasn't really going to do me any good. Like I couldn't really do anything with that information necessarily. So finally I downloaded an expense tracking app. And so now I can actually categorize expenses every time, and it adds them up for me and it tells me you spent this much in this category, this much in this category. So that's been great. But also, when you're tracking expenses, it makes you not want to spend money when you don't have to. Even when you do have to, I'm like, oh, I have to get gas again, and then I have to write it down, and I don't want to. Yeah, it's just really great to see. I spent way more on restaurants than I thought I did. I was like, oh, we don't really go out to eat that much. Yeah, it might be once a week, but it adds up. Holy cats. Even if it's a super cheap, like Culver's. Culver's is our weak spot, I swear. We go there too much. So it's easier to save when you know you have to write it down. Meditation. As with every other thing, it's best if I have a specific time to do it, because I've noticed that, like squats, this is kind of funny. I don't know if I've said this before, but I do squats in the shower, like literally when I'm in the shower. So I've been doing this for a while, so every time I go in the shower, I just my mind says time to squat. And I've known this, and I read a book called Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg that talks about it, and I'm sure you've heard of Atomic Habits, James Clear, I believe it is. talks about this, that you should attach your habit. If you want to build in a new habit, you should attach it to something that you already do, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast or starting your car. Like, you should attach that thing so that you get reminded to do it every time you do that thing. And I know this, and I know it helps, and I've done it before. And for some of these things, I just didn't. Like meditation, I never attached to anything because I didn't know a good time for myself to do it every single day. It just kind of fluctuated. So then, and the same with the sit-ups, it ended up with me literally laying down to go to sleep at night, and I would be like, oh shoot, I forgot to do that. So then I would just do it right before I was going to sleep, which isn't ideal because you're kind of in your night routine flow and you're just like ready to shut your eyes, but then you gotta do sit-ups in bed because you forgot. So yeah, and meditation, as I said in a previous video, it just didn't feel right for me. I don't know, maybe I'm not doing something right, or I need to figure out a different type of meditation or do guided meditations or something, but I'll come back to that at another time. And then finish, again, it was hard to remember. I usually, as soon as I remember it, I open the app and do the finish lesson right then, because now recently in the past couple of weeks I've forgotten a couple times, which is a serious bummer because I was like a 35 or 40 day streak, which is, man, it's just a bummer. But anyway, I restarted, obviously. The thing about no sugar, since I just started at the beginning of January and it's not yet February, I want to actually do a video on that later, so I'll talk about that later. I'm getting into a flow now. It definitely took a bit, and some days are obviously easier than others, especially like the weekends are easier because I have the whole day to kind of figure out what to do and when to do it. And some weekends I actually filmed a couple of videos so that I could have a little more leeway throughout the week. I did realize that it's really not that hard to just whip out my phone and film a couple of clips, whatever we're doing, because videos are so much more interesting for me to edit, and I don't know, just for me to watch too, I guess, is the kind of video that I like to watch. It has a little bit of B-roll, a little bit of random clips of stuff, but then more talking and sharing thoughts about stuff. And so it's way easier to film and edit a video and like feel happy about the outcome when I've just had random clips that I can put in there. Even sometimes if I'm doing a sit down talking video like this and then I just insert like clips of snow falling that I took, I like that. I like to break up the video in that way. I'm just looking at my notes here. I really like capturing and sharing beautiful moments like the snow falling, obviously. Is anyone getting tired of the snow falling yet? I'm not. I have noticed, so since I started YouTube, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been like since 2017, I think. So long. I always want to take clips of stuff. I always want to film things just randomly, and then I don't really have somewhere to put it, and I'm like, shoot, I really want to share this, but it doesn't like fit in with some video that I'm filming or whatever. So it's really fun for me now to just every single time like I see a beautiful sunset or the snow falling or the stars, I can take a little clip and I can actually share it with y'all. That's been, I really like that. Instead of like keeping them on my phone and nobody ever sees them, right? And then I also like to share little tidbits of stuff that I learned. So if I'm listening to a podcast or reading a book or watching a video and I hear something that's super interesting, I want to pass it along. I want other people to know this super interesting thing, and I want people to take advantage and make changes in their life for the better and like improve on stuff. So I really like that for myself. So I really like to share it for other people to hopefully do the same. If I push off the video too much, things pile up really fast. Like, so the first video that I filmed it the day before December 1st. And so I was like, I knew I'm going to prepare this for the next day, right? But then as soon as I start like slipping a little, it's so easy to slip. It's so easy to just be like, oh, well, I don't actually need to have this video ready until 4 p.m. So some days I literally was right up to the mark of like a few minutes before the upload time, I was finishing the thumbnail or the whatever, which is not the greatest. It just feels so much better if you, like I was doing for a while, I have everything ready like even the day before or the night before. And so I don't even have to think about it until after 4 p.m. I'm like, okay, now let's do the next one. Or, I can just get a little bit ahead of stuff. It just feels so much nicer. Another hard thing has been this is a longer form video. I know it's going to take longer to film. It's going to take longer to think about. It's going to take longer to edit. And so it's just really hard to do those more thought out and just longer, I guess, higher quality videos in some ways, which is a little bit frustrating because all that time is being spent on the daily videos. So I guess there's some ways you could work around that. Like if you just do a couple of super short, low effort videos and then spend a little bit of extra time each day on the higher effort videos. Or also, like what I've done is work on those ones on the weekends. So thumbnails and titles, they are a beast. But like I said, I've gotten much better at them, I think. I think they're better anyway. If you've noticed a difference, let me know. Let me know in the comments, because I would be super curious if I mean, obviously the numbers speak a little bit. So if I get better views on a video, I'm like, oh, that must have been a much more interesting thumbnail or title. But yeah, I'm much happier about what I'm putting out there, at least as far as thumbnails and video titles. But if I could have planned those ahead of time, which it's a little bit hard because sometimes the day-to-day I'm more interested in filming a sit-down video, or I'm more interested in cleaning my house and filming that, or whatever it is. So it kind of depends. So it's a little bit harder to plan out. But also, like, if I had 5 video ideas and they're all different types of videos and they all have titles and thumbnails already written down, it would be so much easier to just pick one and run with it, because it's like, okay, this is already thought out. I don't really have to put much effort into it at this point. I've also thought about, like, what if somebody else did them for me? That would be great. Other things, my phone footage, I do not like it at all. It's just not great. It just doesn't even compare. Like, this camera right here is 4K and my other camera is regular HD. I can't think of the other word it is. 1080 by whatever, 1920. That's not as good quality, but it has better color or like depth, and it has, like, I can do manual stuff, adjustments. Yeah, my phone footage, ugh, do not like it, but I've used it quite a bit. It makes it so much easier if you don't have to bring a camera along, you just whip out your phone. So, and then also I have streamlined and cut down as much thinking and as much, okay, so you've probably noticed I use the same music quite a bit. I use the same, like, little intro type of thing, and now I've been streamlining my thumbnails too, where it's kind of like the same exact thumbnail style every time. So much easier if you don't have to do those little extra things when you're on daily. And then, like, my same outro every time, my daily do list, and I haven't done any subtitles. So yeah, subtitles take forever actually. Adobe Premiere Pro, it will auto generate subtitles for you, but they're not great. And once you get into editing them, it's like putting all the capitals and the periods and the punctuation and the adjusting words that it didn't say right. It really takes a long time. So I've given up on that. But if I could have subtitles back, like if I could have somebody doing my subtitles for me, man, I'm gonna do that someday. I would like to focus on getting nice shots. I mean, I don't necessarily want like a cinematic vlog type of that some people do, but it doesn't take that much longer sometimes to just frame the shot a little better, add a little bit more lighting, which I have done. I have improved on that for sure over this past 50 days. And then also just having a camera with me all the time, which I have started since I wrote this note. I started bringing this camera with me because this is really small, just like a little compact camera. So it's way easier to just bring it with me, which honestly, I haven't really taken it out since I started carrying it with me, but at least it's there, and I know it's there in case I'm going to use it. Because sometimes when I'm out and about, I'm like, shoot, I would film this, but I don't have my camera. Well, that's no excuse. Obviously, I always have my phone on me. But like I said, I don't like my phone footage as much. So also, I've just been thinking about getting a new phone for a while, but I just have not bit the bullet because I don't want to spend money. Great. I mean, my phone works. It's just not great. It has some slight issues, but it still functions. Maybe once I complete my 365 days of video, I will gift myself a nice new camera that has a couple of functions that I want. Oh, one other hard thing that I want to work on moving forward is with daily video. Obviously, it's something that I've put upon myself to do every single day, and I want to achieve that every day. So when I have it in my mind that, okay, we're going to go outside, we're going to go for a walk, and I'm going to film my video, and I'm going to do my talking segment outside and whatnot. And then like maybe the kids are kind of crabby or just hanging on me, or they won't be quiet for 5 seconds so I can talk, or like whenever I feel like the kids are getting in the way of my videos, I just hate that feeling. It's horrible. And I have to remind myself, it's okay. Kids are first. I can do the video later after they go to bed or whatever it may be. And yeah, that's just something I've been working on. I do not like when I set my expectation for myself of like, I'm going to do this. When I'm coming home from work, I'm thinking like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to film, and then I can't do the thing that I was expecting to do, then it's just not fun. And I know I've snapped at my kids a couple too many times. So that's not good. So I'm working on it. Just reminding myself it's not that serious. Yes, I would like to achieve this. Yes, I want to do this video every single day, but it's not that serious, honestly. But as soon as I start giving myself slippage in any area, then I start slipping a little more, which I've noticed with my daily habits. One day it was just so cold. I was just so cold and I just didn't feel good, and I just wanted to cozy up, and I was just like, no. I meant to go for a walk during my lunch break at work, but then I was busy at work, and then I meant to go after work, but then like whatever kid stuff right after work, and then it was like supper, and then it was bath time, and then it was bedtime, and it was like, okay, this is not happening. And then I just went to sleep. So it's like, as soon as I slip once, then it's again a little easier, like, oh, well, I just don't have to do it again. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing happens if I don't do it. So it's not, I don't like that. But all right, I'm very, very looking forward to also now sharing my thoughts about no sugar, because wow, that's been interesting. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. This has been a long video. Oh, so much. I'll probably think of like 5 more things after I quit filming, but I did definitely think about this for days, and I kept writing down thoughts as I thought them for all of this. So, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.